Hi. Hi, I'm Matt LeVar here today with Walter Rice, the social worker and outreach coordinator for the Shrewsbury Senior Center. Walter, you help a lot of people. One of the topics we really want to focus on today is isolation,
Yeah,
how people get isolated, both with a particular emphasis to the holidays and winter, which is a tough time for a lot of people to get out. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do here in general, and then
sure.
particularly about how you help people get over those feelings of isolation or really get them out and about a little bit?
I'll try to do the best with you. Um, I've been here a little over 14 years, and I am here 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I meet with a lot of family members or individuals here in my office, or either I go to their homes, do home visits.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yes. And though the context that we have is very confidential, and so that nothing is shared with anyone. Um, I am involved in making sure that seniors are, how would I say, many seniors are very fragile, and many individuals may abuse them, or whether it's financial or physical. So I'm very concerned about the welfare of that individual. I help many seniors, whether they're alone or not, helping with fuel, because right now this is the winter
Oh,
time
sure.
and it gets quite cold. So we can provide through a company called Smart out of Framingham anywhere an average of $500 to $1,000 of free fuel, which is very helpful. Um, Also help out with applications with the town for getting $1,000 off their property tax too, if they own a home.
Oh,
It's called
that's
a
great.
property tax abatement too.
This is a tough time for a number of people of all ages, but particularly for seniors who may not have a lot of family members or a lot of be able to get out and about. Transportation, I think, becomes a real issue for a
Yes.
lot of people. How do you and the senior center help people like that, encourage people to get out a little bit and connect them with not just resources but opportunities to make friends and
Yes. Well, we have 3 vans here, and they are welcome to call as long as they call 2 days before 10 o'clock in the morning, to set up an appointment, to get a van to pick them up, to either go to the doctor or get food. Okay, those are the two big main pieces for them. If they need to go somewhere else, like to hear, they can also get that too. Cynthia Willis is our transportation coordinator, and so she sets up that arrangement, and they generally, the day before, call uh, to make arrangements as to what time the pickup will be, okay?
I mean, loneliness is a real factor, I think, in a lot of people. Depression and that sense that you're alone, particularly as you get older,
Mm-hmm.
family and friends
Yes.
are deceased. You and the senior center do have a number of ways that you can help people and help the family members of people who are a little older, and some of the programs here, the work that you do, you're reaching out. You've got transportation that's available from the senior center.
Yes.
And then what do they do when they come? People come here. How do you help them get introduced to senior center programming?
Well, they more than likely receive the senior newsletter,
Okay.
and they can look through the senior newsletter as well too, as to what the programs are and the meals that are in the center of the page. Okay. So they can sign up to come here to eat, for lunch, and to be able to socialize and to make and meet others.
That's probably a good way to get introduced to
Yeah,
other people here, so they get more
you got that
comfortable.
exactly right. Um, we have other programs of some people like yoga or do some very simple exercising, okay? Or they have a writers group here too. Some people like painting or knitting and sewing. Uh, the Most of the women do the sewing, and I don't see too many men. Um, and so they can easily do that too.
How would you or the family member, somebody who mom, dad, uncle, aunt, that they get concerned about them spending too much time by themselves? What are the signs how do you identify somebody who may be
Well-
suffering from more than that passing sort of occasional loneliness?
Well, I guess a lot has to do with the personality of the mother and father too. And sometimes what I meet is that there's resistance, and they're finding that the son or the daughter is trying to force too much on them too. So you got that piece. So what I try to tell the children to be an advocate of supporting their independence and not to push them too hard. What they can do too is to come down here, you know, for a tour, and I'll be glad to give a tour, or someone else as well too. The other part too is that you know, if you're noticing that they don't want to interact with them, or they're getting very angry, or they're sad, or having tears, they may be indications of that. The other phenomena too is, depending upon what their medications are that they have, oftentimes can cause an interaction, not knowing what the side effects of their meds are too. So they may need to touch base with the physician. But during this season, it's not uncommon a lot of people get sad, because now that they're older and they're fragile and they may not be able to move as well, or they're limited as to in their driving, they only can drive in a day, or they can't drive at night, or they're not allowed to drive anymore because of previous accidents, you see, that they've experienced. So taking a driver's license away can be a very hard experience on these individuals, because that loses their independence. Now what do? And they just shut themselves in too. So depending upon that. But you know, you got the holidays. Are they able to go out to buy Christmas presents? Or is their brother or sister, you know, deceased? Are they the only one? And depending upon how old they are, you know, if their elder parents there are in a nursing home or an assisted living, that's a hard piece too for them. So it's one of just watching.
How do you develop a strategy or encourage the senior to develop a strategy, and what kind of strategies to overcome this? Aside from, I love the idea of arranging a tour here, because it introduces them to somebody like you, who can introduce them to other people here. What other kinds of strategies work
the other
best
strategy
in
can
your
be one of
experience?
two things. Of the children come down with that individual here, and we meet one-on-one. And I take a very unbiased approach, okay, of just listening and to hearing. Or really, they can make a home visit too, to see where they're at, and to listen to them as to what may be or may not be the barriers too.
I think that's a great service, that you would do a home visit, because again, it gets you introduced to the whole family or the individual alone.
To make a connection,
makes it easier. Absolutely.
And I think trust is a very important element too, of feeling comfortable, because it's not unusual that they may feel embarrassed or ashamed and wondering, you know, what's going to be happening here.
Or just shyness.
The shyness.
I mean, most people aren't like me, willing to just go about any place.
You got exactly right.
And,
you know?
and just say hello and start meeting people.
Right.
So finding you first in their home and being able to make a
you got that exactly
contact
right.
like that is important. What other kinds of strategies have you found useful? And I know you're going to go through an exercise in a little bit, for people to be able to try to overcome that sense of aloneness, and particularly around the holidays and in winter when everybody's sort of trapped in their homes. How do people get past that, besides coming to places like senior centers and getting involved with congregations or other, because there is, for many people, there's a spiritual element to this too, I would think.
Well, the other part too is that they can go to the public library, and they have services over there too for elders, okay? And they have some very interesting programs over there for reading material, and a very large population of the elders go to the library, and they spend time there. The other piece is that if they're still involved with their church, they could be able to get connected with their pastor for having a friendly visitor come to visit them, or also to connect with Elder Services of Worcester, and where they can have a friendly visitor come to visit them too that way as well. and to see what other services of what type of support that they may need other than the family too, you see. So
And do you find that once they get past that initial introduction stage, that even inviting people of all ages, but including seniors, to volunteer someplace, even if it's
yes,
being part of a
yes,
welcoming
yes, yes.
situation here?
We have a very good volunteer coordinator here, Stacy Lavely, and you will notice in the newsletter that they have various different opportunities to go volunteering as well, whether it's in the school system, in the library, here at the senior center as well too.
There are a lot of organizations that could use volunteers, and
Absolutely.
I've always felt that's a great way to meet people,
Yes.
and you're not feeling like
Yes.
you're just receiving
Yes.
services, you're actually helping other people too, and that
And if you are eligible, you can also get a $500, $500 off your property tax bill if you own a home. And so there is a
okay.
benefit from
Okay.
volunteering too.
so you volunteer so many hours and you receive that kind of
Yes.
abatement or whatever it's called.
Right.
and-
You
oh,
become an official
interesting.
volunteer with
Okay, great.
some of our volunteers here answer the telephone, connecting with people.
They don't have to be terribly even mobile to be able to be a
No, other
greeter.
people come with walkers, with their wheelchair here. The only thing we ask for people to be able to be independent, and if they need help, they need to have someone to be with them to be able
Okay.
to come. That's
Okay,
the
good.
limitation of that piece.
Okay, so, and you had an exercise or something that you wanted to share with people, if I...
Yeah, I would. I run a mindfulness meditation, and it helps with stress management, okay?
Okay.
And it helps for people to get back to sleep, because one of the issues, you wake up during the night to go to the bathroom, because I do that a couple times, and to just simply to count the breath, and I'm going to lead the audience into a very simple exercise.
Great,
if that's
please
okay.
do.
Okay. So if you're interested in this, this is one of the techniques that I teach to the group. All you have to do is just to sit in a chair and put your hands on your knees and then close your eyes. And then you just get in touch with the breath. So you're just feeling the breath come in and go out. And you notice the breath goes all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. So all I'm going to be asking you to do is when the breath comes in, you just put a number on it. So when it comes in, you say 1 quietly in your mind. Goes out, you say 2. Comes in again, 3, down to 4. And you keep going that way until you get to 10. When you get to 10, just start all over again. And you just keep repeating that. If it so happens that you forget what number you're on, you just start all over again. And if thoughts interrupt, just start all over again. So we're going to do that just for a couple of seconds. So the breath is coming in, and you're putting a number on it. And the breath goes out, you put another number. Comes in again, another number. That's it. So you're just feeling the breath come in and out through your nose. You feel it. And all you're doing is just putting a number on the breath. And what you're going to find is that if you have interruptions at night of getting back to sleep because the head is thinking so much, because it's probably thinking about the past and worry about the future, having a hard time just to relax the body, all you have to do is to connect with the breath. So to make your breath a friend, and I really mean that, maybe write a note on the refrigerator to remember to connect with the breath and to count from 1 to 10. So I leave you with that, and if you need more help with that, you can call me here at the Senior Center and I'll give you more instructions. That's as simple as that is. And they've found that to be very effective, that it helps to clear the mind, makes even new neurological pathways for the brain, helps the heart to relax, calm the breath, lower anxiety too. So, or either you can come to my relaxation class, and which is every Wednesday from 1 to 2 free, and you can be part of that whole group and to learn a little more about that whole piece of helping to reducing your stress. And because stress can really do a number on us. So I wish you luck.
Thank you very much, and thank you for spending some time with us today.
My pleasure.
And thank you. Hi, I'm Matt Labar. I'm here today with John Dooley, owner of Greendale Physical Therapy, and Joe Magdis, also with Greendale Physical Therapy. We're going to talk a little bit about how exercise and physical therapy can be really helpful, well, to anybody, but specifically today for people who are a little more mature. And appreciate your spending a little time with us. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and how long you've been in business and what kind of services you provide?
Sure, I can tell you a little bit about Greendale Physical Therapy. As we've been around since 2002 in Shrewsbury, so about 15, 16 years. We started at the White City Shopping Center inside a gym, and we've since moved down here right on Route 9 to a beautiful facility here on Route 9. We've been here for about 5 or 6 years. We take care of patients with all sorts of conditions, whether it be total knee replacement, whether it be someone with a bad back, with a disc condition, whether it be athletes. We see a lot of athletes and high-level athletes here. So people with varying conditions. We also have not only the clinic, but we also offer aquatic physical therapy as well. That's one of our services.
Great.
Sure.
And you have a couple of other facilities as well.
So we've got a couple other facilities. We have one in Worcester, right on Gold Star Boulevard, and one in Clinton, right in downtown Clinton. And it's we have a couple of facilities, so we serve the Worcester area.
Well, great. I wanted to ask you both, for anybody, but specifically for people as they mature, how important exercise is, and when they're injured, you're able to provide usually doctor-directed physical therapy or doctor-prescribed physical therapy. Do I understand that correctly?
Well, in Massachusetts, believe it or not, we have what's called direct access. So people can access physical therapy directly. They don't necessarily need a doctor to refer them to physical therapy. So the insurance is sometimes limiting, but people can certainly access physical therapy services on their own.
Oh, great. Okay, didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And about how many people do you serve in the area?
How many? We see hundreds of patients a week. We've seen thousands of patients over the years, so we see quite a few people.
Now, exercise and physical therapy, as we all get a little older, it becomes even more important than it is, I think, when you're younger. And trying to overcome injuries, but prevention and fall prevention, I know that's one of the things that Joe's going to help us with in a little bit to demonstrate some ideas about. But falls are a huge problem for people as we get older. And can you speak a little bit about how you're able to help people specifically?
Sure. One of the big things that we do is we do balance training, and we also do strength conditioning, a lot of strengthening, I should say, with our patients. And there's a correlation between the more strength that you have, the better your balance is, and so on and so forth. So we do a lot of strengthening with our patients that helps with the balance, and we also do a lot of balance work, neuromuscular re-education, and those types of things with our patients. And it is hugely important, especially lower extremity strength, for maintaining balance. And I just know for myself, working in the hospitals, that lower extremity strength, the ability to sit and stand, and the ability to go upstairs is hugely important for people as they age.
Great. So we're going to have Joe, and a volunteer, Lorna McCaffrey, is going to be the person that we were going to work on and demonstrate some of those kinds of exercises and how you would help somebody with better balance and better core strength training. So if you don't mind doing that, why don't we, I'll get out of the way and you can do that.
Okay, sure. So every joint has a normal range of motion. So when we come in here for the initial evaluation, we're going to check the joints to make sure they're working correctly. Usually the muscles are tight, so if we loosen up the muscle, stretch out the muscle, you'll have better balance. So the first one that's usually tight is the hamstrings. So we're going to bring this chair over here, and you're going to sit down right here for a moment on the edge of the chair. Put your one leg out in front like this. And you're just going to lean forward. And that's going to stretch out your hamstring right down here. Your hold stretches for about 30 seconds. You can do about 3 or 4. And relax. Okay, up again. Let's take this leg over here. You're going to bring it over here like so. And you're going to lean forward this way. So all these stretches can be done right in the chair just to loosen up your hip, your hamstring. Hold the stretching for 30 seconds. We're not going to do as much today. Just for the thing, it'll be 30 seconds. And back up. Another key muscle is your calf muscle. So come right over here. You have a little calf stretcher. You're going to put your foot like this. You're going to lean into it this way. You're going to stretch out your calf muscle. Just like that. Show me that one. Okay. Put your heel on the ground, nice and tall. Lean forward. This is stretching out the calf muscle down here. So we stretch out the hamstring, the glute, and the calf. All of these muscles help your legs become more flexible so you can hold your balance.
Definitely feel that.
And that's a good pull in there. And good. All right. The most important stretch is the quad muscle. So you're going to turn around, come right here. No,
Oh, right here.
stay right here. You can put your leg up on the chair, on the table now. Put your leg up, nice and tall. This is the anti-sitting position. It's tall, tall, tall of the body.
Tall.
When you sit, you shorten your hip flexor. When you stand like this, it's going to stretch out the hip flexor so you have more room in that hip. Your hip is where your balance center is. And down. Good. So those are the stretches for the lower extremity to keep you nice and flexible. Now we're going to work on your balance. You're going to come back over here and hold on to this. You're going to stand on one leg.
Fun.
And this is your balance.
This is hard
Nice
for
and
me
tall.
usually.
Take your hands off. This is how we can test your balance.
Not easy for me.
You see how she's having trouble. So this
Yeah.
is what we need to do.
I need
Work
to
with the
work on
strengthening
I'm falling
so
to
we
the
can
right.
balance. Right? Switch
Yeah.
legs. Same
I
thing.
have
Watch
bad-
your balance.
I have really bad ankles
Yeah.
and
And we need
knees.
to strengthen them.
Yeah.
And down. Good. Right, that's the that.
Great. One of the things that jumps to mind as I'm watching you is that it's not something that's so complicated that people aren't able to do it.
No, a
And-
lot of stretches you can do right in the chair, so we can do that on a regular basis, and then just standing up and balancing.
And then, and this is based on my experience actually with your facility in Worcester. There are exercises that you're shown how to do at home, so that it's not something that you're just doing here, but you're encouraged to do daily. And
Daily, yep.
Use,
Once you get the
simple
exercises, we'll actually send you a copy of the exercise so you can do them at your house.
equipment.
So you can follow through with your exercise plan. Exercise plan is key to keep your flexibility and your strength going so that you can keep safe.
It really is. I mean, that's one of the things I would suggest too, is and I found that I still use the exercises that I was given by your staff to stay more flexible and to build my core strength. And again, the equipment that you're using, you have at home. And
Yeah.
You can be shown by your staff how to use it at home.
And that's why we do that, so you can do it at your house.
And you don't have to wait for an injury.
No,
No.
it's all preventative, so you don't have the injury, which is going to cause you to have to come to physical therapy, disrupt your life, and sometimes people get a lot hurt, so they lose their sleep, a whole bunch of things. So if that happens, physical therapy can help that to get you back to your normal life and feel better.
But as a preventative piece, that I think that's a message that gets lost, particularly for physical therapists, is that this is good
To
prevention.
prevent, falls, injuries.
And falls prevention is a big
It's key.
problem for people. Okay, great. Well, I want to thank you and thank John for taking the time to
Thank you.
spend with us today. And
Thank
I
you.
hope that this is useful to our audience, and I'm sure it will be. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.